Another reason why it's valuable for a TI to learn security pen testing or ethical hacking is because, first of all, it gives you an opportunity to be able to generate income. Now, here's the thing, right? By the way, people think that, like, because I know how to do this technical shit, that I'm like some fucking nerd or I'm some fucking agent of the fucking Matrix or some shit. They don't realize I'm a real person. Like, I smoke weed. You know what I mean? It's the only thing I do. I don't drink. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore. I smoke weed. But I just want to show you guys how much this shit has leveled me up, you know? First of all, I've been able to generate money for the first time without it actually being taken away from me, you know, from the system. So, and at the same time, a lot of the stuff that I'm learning is like literally the coolest shit I've ever learned in my life. And it's like, you know, as a kid, I've always wanted to know about computers. I've always been wanting to have a computer since I was a kid. I've always been interested in it, taking things apart, putting it back together. You know, aside from all the TI stuff and everything, like just naturally since I was a kid, I've wanted to like be a master at computers, like, you know, and so I've always wanted to learn something. I always saw the hacking thing as like, yeah, right. You know what I mean? I was like, we wish, right? Like, you know, and even if it's real, it's probably, you got to be like a real nerd, freak of nature to learn that type of stuff. Like, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to learn something like that, you know, in my head. That's the way I thought of it. But, you know, over time I started to look at it and realize, you know what, like, this stuff is real and it can really be done. And then I realized that there's actually a legal, you know, there's a career to be had out of all of this, you know? And there's a whole field. There's so many ways that you can generate income legally with ethical hacking. It's becoming a higher demand type of a thing, you know? So I was like, I'm interested in this stuff. I love it. It might be too hard for me, probably too complex, but I'm going to give it a shot. You know, I'm going to get everything that I possibly can from this. Now that I know it's possible, hacking is really a thing. You know, it's not just something you see, you know, the anonymous videos of, you know, you don't got to be a rocket scientist to learn this stuff and utilize it and generate an income from it. So you have the potential to actually generate income in a way that you have power and control over, and you're teaching people the coolest shit they've probably ever saw. Like, I made a YouTube video of me demonstrating how to create an Android payload, which is basically, you know, a fake Android application that could be disguised as anything. It could be Facebook, or it could be disguised as a PDF. And when somebody installs it onto their Android phone, it gives me a reverse shell. From that point, you have full access to the phone, the camera, the audio. You know, you can download all the text messages, call logs, and contacts from the phone. You can upload a file onto the phone. You know, so the possibilities are endless once that person downloads that application or file or whatever, right? And I demonstrated how this really works. You know, and it's not easy, but it's doable. And if I can do it, you can do it. So once I learned how to do something like that, I thought it was just the most mind-boggling thing to me. I just could not believe that I actually could do this. I was able to generate a payload, download it on my Android phone, and get a reverse shell and have full access. It was just mind-boggling. It was like, there's no way. I can't believe this is happening, right? I was like, first of all, this is terrifying. You know, this is serious stuff. And I was like, I didn't think it was that real, you know? How many APKs and sketchy apps from sketchy websites did I download on my Android phone and totally compromised my device? Somebody had a full access the whole time, a hacker. And it was too far-fetched for me to think that it's that easy, you know? not easy coming from the, perspective of the attacker, but it's easier than I would imagined it to just happen to me like that. It's mind-boggling. So anyways, once I learned how to do that, I was like, bro, everybody would love to learn how to do this. People that are like tech savvy, interested in computers or just cybersecurity, or people that don't want to get hacked. Like, even if you you want to know how this stuff really actually works from the attacker's perspective, because it gives you the real advantage, right? So anyways, so I start making videos and showing people this stuff, and they're like, bro, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I cannot believe it. And also the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, yeah, like, this stuff is real. You have to be educated about it. You have to know how it's done. You have to know how to identify it. And the way to be able to fully identify something like this, there's multiple ways, but the best way is from knowing how it actually happens and seeing it happen from the attacker's perspective. That's how you have the full broad perspective and visual over, attacks like that. So anyways, coolest thing that you could learn, coolest thing you can teach your friends and show them that you can hack their Wi-Fi and hack their Android phone. They won't believe you. You can literally bet them $100 as long as they give you permission. You know what I'm saying? Right? And you're good. Coolest skill you can possibly have ever. And to teach other people, and people are happily willing to pay for that. Happy to pay for you to teach them how to do it, because it's not easy, and it took me 11 years. I just make it look easy because I've been doing it for 10 years. But now, me having that advantage, I could teach somebody what I learned in 10 years in a couple of months. Something that would have took them 10, 11 years by themselves, it's now going to take them a couple months. Because why? Because they have the ability. They have an advantage. Me showing them. I remember the stuff that I was learning how to do, there was no videos teaching people how to do it. And the ones that did teach it were like, all of the videos are mostly scammers saying that they can do this and this and that. It's not real, right? And then the other videos that really can do it was like in Hindu and some different language, and I can't even understand. I just followed along and I learned. And bottom line is to be able to learn from somebody that speaks English and that actually can communicate and like show you, and that's a real person, that I'm not some fake internet person, like, you know what I mean, like, I'm a real human being, like, that learned a valuable skill coming from a disadvantaged position as a TI, and getting smashed on by life in every single way, shape, and form. So anyway, so point being is that you're gonna be the coolest person anybody ever met, and you're going to be able to literally hack Wi-Fi, hack somebody's Android phone, hack their Windows computer, and then show them how to secure their router, secure their home network, secure their device, what not to do, what to look out for. You're going to be the man, and people are going to just give you money. Like, they're going to be like, bro, if you can do this, I will give you fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, 10 years ago, if you said, listen, I'll hack Wi-Fi right in front of you right now and give you access to it, like, metaphorically speaking, obviously that's illegal to do, so don't, I'm not recommending you do that. Not to say I can't control what people do with this knowledge that I teach them, obviously. They can use it for ethical purposes and have a career and teach people and educate themselves and whatever, right? And then some people are going to learn this stuff, and they're going to probably, take advantage of it, and they're going to be able to, that's why I try to make sure I know who is signing up to my Patreon, and I can filter out the bad guys that are trying to use this information to actually just, target, TIs even worse, right? And here's the thing. You think that all, like, gang stalkers know how to do this stuff? 95 to 98% of them don't. There's probably 2 to 1% maybe that have acquired a basic understanding of how this stuff works, and they want to utilize it, they just don't have the patience. TIs have the patience because we're in it for our actual livelihood, for our lives. We have the time to learn something that's going to empower us or protect us in some way or give us an advantage when it comes to being targeted. So they're not as motivated. They don't have time. They want a quick fix. They just want I just want to be able to do it with a click of a button, and that's not how it really works, and that's not how reality works. That's not how security pen testing works. Real hacking, the real deal. That's not how it works. So the people that are trying to utilize it for the wrong reasons are probably not going to make it. They're just going to give up. They're going to get frustrated, stressed out, pissed off. You know, whatever. They're going to give up and they're not going to put in the time. They would rather pretend that they have the skills and scare you and put fear tactics. It's all mind manipulation. These guys are not as intelligent as you think they are, and they do not have the hacking abilities that you think they do. As for the government, of course they do, and there's pretty much almost, unless you're Edward Snowden, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways to avoid, government infiltration, but it's extreme and it takes a lot of effort, and you have to change your patterns, behaviors, habits, and how you use your devices. And your device is going to be less fun because it's going to be, developed in a way that is going to have less functionality but more security. And I'm going to teach you guys all of that stuff. Like, you got to be in this for the long run. But I'm just saying that one of the reasons why you should learn how to do this stuff is because once you learn how to do it, you now have a skill, a trade. Like if you were an electrician, a carpenter, somebody that has a useful, valuable asset that's actually ahead of the game. It's like being a Facebook engineer before Facebook even started, and you catch that wave right away before it blew up. Like it's like being at the beginning of Bitcoin before it blew up. But maybe not a good example for some of you, but you get the idea. You're ahead of the game. If you learn this stuff right now, I'm telling you, it's going to generate wealth for you in the future. If you learn this right now and you become good at it, you're not only going to be completely secure in every single way, shape, and form and totally unhackable, and you're also going to know how to the extreme and to a degree, totally evade government infiltration when it comes to, infiltrating your privacy and backdooring your devices in your home networks and Wi-Fi and all that stuff. There's a way around that too, and it's by switching your router to a more secure router that was not provided from your ISP, because then it closes up the ports that they're using to have SSH remote access to your network and sniff your traffic at all times. Regardless if you're using HTTPS or you're using a VPN, they can still manipulate your router and your network to do things that it shouldn't be doing, which can take away from your security that you've already initiated. But we should still take the steps necessary to secure our router, to secure our home Wi-Fi and our devices away from any attackers that are not on a government level. Now, when it comes to the government level, then we increase our strategy and we go more extreme, right? And I did it for years. I didn't have a phone in my name. I didn't have internet in my name. I used public Wi-Fi's and then used a VPN plus Tor, proxy chains, and just a threshold of things that I've learned over the years. And that made it impossible to track me because, first of all, I don't have a SIM card in my phone, and I'm using free Wi-Fi apps that are not in my name, not connected to my email, complete straw man entity that exists on the internet that you can't track, you can't trace, even if whatever. Now once you hit that level, the way that government would basically track you down is through habits and behaviors. So then you would have to alter your habits and behaviors if you wanted to not be identifiable after that point of where you're pretty much anonymous, but now it's all about your habits and characteristics, behaviors, how you type, how you spell. You basically, your digital signature, you have to reformat yourself basically. If you want to go to that extreme, which you can, and I've done it for like 5-6 years at a time, until everything died off and died down, and I strategically moved around. I did a series of things, and if you guys are interested in that, I could make some more videos talking about that aside from the ethical hacking videos. But there's lots to be learned. There's lots to benefit from. You can generate an income. It's supporting your community of TIs, even though a lot of them are just going to think whatever, you're a double agent or something, or you flipped, because you've learned something intelligent to the point where it's scary to them, to the point where they're like, well, we can't determine, so we're just going to write you off as like, now you're a gang stalker and you've flipped on us or something, right? I hear that a lot because it's scary, because the way that they look at like hacking and this realm of things, they don't understand that there's a legal aspect to it, there's a career involved, and there's a way to help your community and educate yourself and help yourself. They're looking at it in a negative way that they're scared of, and then they feel like they can't trust you or whatever information that you're trying to deliver, because there's a lot of false information. There's a lot of frauds out there trying to tap into the targeted individual community to benefit from it, sell products that don't actually work, and other tactics that, just to make money off of you. And I get that, right? So you have to understand what is valuable and what's worth something, and you have to be educated, and there's ways to do that, so that way you don't fall victim to scams and these other predators that are trying to prey on the TI community and make money off of them and sell you a dream that bullshit doesn't even exist. This is the real deal. You can educate yourself on what it is. Go ahead and Google security penetration testing. Do that now. And then Google Kali Linux. If you do those two things and you read everything that you see, you will understand everything that I'm telling you to a degree that you can trust it, understand it, and see the value in it. It'll blow your mind, and then you don't have to believe in me and what I tell you. You can go and do your own research. And that is the area that you need to do the research. You don't go hacking and type that into Google and type, because you're going to get a bunch of scams and a bunch of bullshit. Real hackers do not refer to themselves as a hacker. They refer to themselves as a cybersecurity professional, or a more commonly known as a security penetration tester, which aka means ethical hacker. Ethical meaning legal and ethical practices. So you can make money for the first time without the government taking it away from you. You don't even have to file your taxes until you make over a certain amount, tax bracket per year type of a thing, and you don't even have to worry about that, because it's going to be a while before you hit that mark anyways. If you were to pursue in this direction, and this is the direction I'm going to pursue in, I can see a way that I can make money, free myself from the matrix, break free, have the power over it. I can see above it. I can see everything, all the attacks. I know what they are. I know how to do them. I know how to reverse engineer them. Like, turn me into a fucking machine. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow, I didn't think it would go this far. Like, how much of an advantage this really is, how cool this shit really is. Didn't think I could make this much money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even when I was homeless, I was doing this shit. Like, I was going to the library every day. All I had was a fucking laptop and a hammock to sleep in, or a tent. You know what I'm saying? So there's a rabbit, little bunny. So anyways, I'm just trying to show you guys like how much potential is here in learning this stuff, and why I'm so like pumped to try to like show people. Now, after it took me like 10-11 years to gain the confidence to even talk about this, or even try to show or teach other people. Then it became critical. Okay, well, if you're making YouTube videos teaching how to do this stuff, you can't show the full thing, because it's actually against YouTube's terms of agreement, because you're giving too much information on something that could be used for negative things. So you got to cut some things out. So it's another reason why I needed a Patreon, so that way I could put the full content where you can actually follow it and actually learn and do this stuff without me having to keep things out of it for YouTube terms of agreement purposes. You know what I mean? So it's just like, and I can also filter out the gang stalkers from the actual TIs through that process, because no gang stalker is going to support a targeted individual financially, even if they had more knowledge or had some type of information over them. And and we do, and they're pissed. We have all kinds of benefits above them. They're really they're the dumbest fuck. But I'm telling you, like, even the law is the dumbest fucking shit ever. They're dumb. They're little fucking toy robots with fucking battery in their back shit. They have no consciousness. They have no soul. They have no understanding of struggle and poverty and all these aspects, and targeting and harassment and being targeted by the system, and feeling the wrath of the corrupted side of the government and the system and society. They don't even they have no experience in that. So they're just completely dumb as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But they have their own system that is been built over hundreds of years that they can utilize against us. And they hide information and knowledge from the main population, so that they don't learn stuff like this and gain some type of leverage over the program. and they want you to continue to think in a state of scarcity where you think that you're not able to do this type of a thing, or it's not even worth your time, or it's not real, or um, whatever. Anything to stop you from learning this and participating is literally like the devil trying to stop you. It's a program itself trying to limit you, and keep you in that state of a victim instead of a conqueror. So anyways, there's a lot of benefits. So just thought I would mention that. Just keeping it real. And yeah, man. Hope to see you guys in the Patreon. I'll leave the link pinned in the comments. And there's 3 different memberships to choose from, and you can read the descriptions of what that entails, what's involved in those memberships, and what you're going to get out of it, what I'm going to be teaching, what you're going to have access to, what I can do for you. Yeah, so share this video, hit the like, and share this amongst the TI community if you think it'd be beneficial, or somebody might be interested in this type of a thing and wants to learn, because it can benefit them in so many ways that I didn't even think possible as a TI. So anyways, we got to support each other. And this is how we're going to beat the system, beat the matrix.